Hi everyone! Welcome to our third video in our Talk and Play Everyday series. This is a series of videos designed for parents of children who attend our programme for 2 to 3 year olds. Videos 1 and 2 looked at play, how important play is for children's brain development, and the best toys to choose to help facilitate that. Today we're going to be looking at language and how we can facilitate our children's language development. Why is language development so important for our children? It's important because it's their passport. It's your child's passport to the school curriculum, positive behaviour patterns, friendships, and overall well-being. In school, our curriculum is very heavily dependent on good language skills. And if your language skills are below par, you're going to struggle to fulfill your potential in accessing the curriculum. The reason our 2 to 3 year olds have temper tantrums is because very often the language is just emerging. They can't fully explain their actions, their reasons, why they have done something. And they will use their arms and legs instead to have that communication with you. But when the language levels increase, the temper tantrums decrease. Overall well-being and friendships. You need language for these. Can you have a friend if you can't talk to them? It's going to be difficult. We want our children to be able to access the curriculum to the best of their ability in school. And if the language isn't said, it's going to be very hard to read it and write it. Spoken language comes first, and written language is a code for the spoken language. We also know that a child's vocabulary at 5 is the strongest predictor we have of their profession at 30. Language development in the early years matters a great deal. Shouldn't talking just come naturally? It would be great if it did. But like any skill, whether that's holding a fork, riding a bike, it is best if an adult shows us how to do it in the correct way. So what are we going to do? Through this and the next couple of videos, we're going to use some very simple strategies, very simple tips to help our children develop language skills. So how does language work? If you think of language as a filing cabinet, and in our heads we each have a filing cabinet with drawers for words. A drawer for people, a drawer for places, a drawer for things, a drawer for foods. Every time our children hear the words, they store them. And if they've heard them and stored them, and heard them and stored them enough, they can retrieve them easily and say them. So, the first thing we have to do is recognise our importance as adults in helping our children store their words. A child has to hear words a lot before they begin to say them, because they have to be confident about where they've been stored. And the more often they hear the same words, the more often they'll store them in the same place, and then they're very easily found and said. If they haven't been heard enough and haven't been stored correctly, the child is going to struggle to say their words. And who is going to be the model of that language? Us, the adults around them. Parents, family, Sure Start staff. These guys are the models of language, and they will be the people that our children will learn language from. The more often we hear those words, the better we store, the easier we say. So, how can we help our children to store and then learn to talk? So, we need to think about our environment. The first tip is when you're talking and playing with your child to have a quiet environment. This is so the child's attention isn't diverted from you to the TV, to the radio, to an argument in the street, to phone notifications going off. If we can keep our environment as quiet as possible when we're talking and playing with our kids, they'll be able to absorb the most of what you say. Making it fun. Children learn best when they're having fun. And that's why our Programme for Twos is so successful in helping our children learn language. They're having fun. The brain is relaxed. They will absorb and store and learn those words much more easily. Eye contact. Eye contact is really important. And talking to your children face to face is one of the best things you can do to help your children learn language. This is because our children will learn to mimic how your face looks when you say certain words. The sound, for instance, let your top teeth go onto your bottom lips. They will absorb so much by looking. So talking to the back of their heads doesn't really work. The first thing you do when you want to have a conversation with somebody is look at them. And it has to be the same for our kids. So getting down to their level and having good eye contact and appropriate positioning with them really helps. Following their lead. Children don't really like being told what to do. And at playtime, we can give them the lead. Let them choose the toy. Let them choose the activity. And it's much more likely they'll stay with it for longer, attend for longer, and absorb more language that you're saying for longer. Turn taking. Very important that the adult doesn't dominate all the interaction. Give the child a turn. And that turn taking will help him develop conversational skills. I say something, pause, you say something. The foundations for later conversation skills start now. Praise and encouragement. Keeping your child on task can be hard, but all children love to know they're doing a good job. So when you praise them and encourage them, it's going to help them stick longer at the activity. So we have got some small tips there that aren't rocket science, that are really simple, but all of them will help your child to develop language. Hope to see you again soon when we'll be talking about more things we can do to help our children develop language. See you soon. Bye.